Hey everybody, this is Mike with Accounting for Cycling. Today we'll be unboxing the ASUS Vivobook S14. So this is a 14-inch OLED laptop ultrabook. So ultra portable, ultra mobile, no dedicated processor and no dedicated GPU inside of it, but it's meant to be more of kind of a jack of all trades, meant to be more of a kind of ultra mobile, do it all, back to school, kind of around the house kind of laptop. This is not a sponsored video, but I did receive this as a member of Best Buy's Tech Insider program. As a member of this invitation-only program, I am provided products for the purposes of writing honest, unbiased reviews. So I did not purchase this product, but everything I say inside this video is my own unbiased thoughts and opinions, but not swayed by Best Buy or ASUS. So with that out of the way, let's get the unboxing. So with this, it is a Copilot PC, meaning it is built to work with Microsoft's Copilot AI. You can see here, it's Intel Core Ultra 5226V. Somehow this is supposed to be easier to understand processor language. Obviously no hard drive, no optical disk. I don't know why they keep these on here, but hey, I guess maybe some of those still exist out there. It does have 16 gigs DDR5 RAM, a low power because this is an ultrabook laptop. Let's get into here. There we are. And then a 512 gig SSD and a 14-inch OLED screen. Oh boy, this might just end up being another Mike Breaks boxes. I don't know why this is so difficult. Oh, because you're not supposed to open the corner, you just lift. So ignore me trying to open the corners and just push the handle in and lift. Nice and easy. Here we are. Okay, so once you do that, you've got this nice box here, and it kind of shows you how to use it. Sustaining an incredible feature. Protect the Earth with Vivobook. So these are different ways that you can actually use this box to use as a laptop stand. So that's pretty cool. Plus it kind of just pops up, which I really like. Yeah. So we've got the laptop itself here, but first, let's open up this side here. Nothing. Cool. It's a lovely little box portion there. Move the laptop out of the way here. This is smooth, very lightweight. It's supposed to be, I think, 2.81 pounds. Got some paperwork here. In search of incredible. Just a basic user guide. Congratulations on your ASUS product purchase. Warranty card. And set your unique vibe. Right then. Just kind of set those right back in there. So now this makes more sense. So here's your USB-C charger, 65 watts. And since it is USB-C, if you have a 65 watt USB-C charging brick that is compatible with this laptop, you can just go ahead and use that. Or conversely, you can use this USB-C charging brick to charge your phone or whatever else it may be that you have USB-C for, because that is the gloriousness of USB-C. Nothing under there, nothing under here. So ASUS, being a fairly large company, along with most other laptop manufacturers, they use their boxes for a lot of different models. So, if it had, say, not a 65 watt Ultrabook, say like my ProArt model, they may use the same box, but it has possibly a 220 watt brick instead of this. And so you need to have more parts to it. But let's unsheath, get our first look here. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. So my hands are a little bit sweaty. So we can see how that how those fingerprints work in. But here we are. Yeah, it's got a nice, so this little cutout here is to let the ventilation be able to breathe straight through the bottom. On the bottom too, you've got some nice cut throughs here, nice little lift on the back to allow for good airflow underneath. You've got your HDMI 2.1 and HDMI 2.1, two Thunderbolt 4s, a micro SD slot, a just 3.5mm communication port, headphone and microphone. And then on the other side, you have dual USB 3.2, I believe those are. And then just some device indicator lights. And let's do a little test here to see if we can do the one finger opening. Passes perfectly. Remove this here. And even though a lot of us now have had laptops for a while where, we've had the multi-finger gestures for a while, these are multimedia gestures, so they're not as common. ASUS has been doing this a lot with their ProArt series and now with their Vivobook series, where you can have just kind of a quick access instead of having to always rely on your function keys up top here. So if you do use your F keys a lot, like I do, you can have those set. So when you're in Excel typing away and you hit F4 to lock a function to a certain cell, you don't have to hit the Fn key to then switch over that function to hit volume. You can just do that right here. So that's really nice, just kind of a nice added feature. You've got your power button up here. This brings up your ASUS control, if you will. Nice, pretty solid keys. Power down here, if it's got some power. And there's that beautiful OLED screen. Speaking of the screen, it is a 14-inch WUXGA, so 1920 by 1200, 60 hertz Lumina OLED display. So it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. It also delivers a 100% DCI-P3 color gamut, 600 nits peak brightness, and 0.2 millisecond response time. So even though it's not a gaming laptop, if you do some faster movement on here, even though it is just 60 hertz, that response time is definitely going to help with that. Plus, look at ultra slim bezels here on the side. Built-in camera block, just for ease of access there. Even though it's not a 360-degree laptop, it does fold completely flat, so that's kind of nice. I've used that in a few circumstances. Let's see if we've got any power in here. Probably not, but that's always worth checking. So, as you can see here, it does have onboard Intel Arc graphics, the Ultra 5 Intel Core processor, as well as then the usual Energy Star and HDMI certifications as well. So what we'll do next is we'll get a little bit of juice in here and power it up and kind of see what we got. All right, so clearly I've found somewhere to plug in the 65-watt USB-C charger here. So we'll hit the power button. So the interesting thing about this backlit keyboard is, I'll turn these side lights off here quick. So it is a single zone RGB keyboard. So you can actually set this to be whatever color tone you'd like it to be. Huge difference versus a lot of gaming laptops is it will just be that one single color. So if you want to have blue keys, you can have blue keys, green keys, kind of set it to your mood, or set it to whatever you would like. Favorite color, favorite team color, have at it. You do also have the Copilot button here for your Copilot assistant. You can kind of see the very bright OLED screen kicking up here. Obviously, this is the first time it's been fired on, so kind of working through some of that. But just kind of wanted to go through some of those things. So it is 0.55 inches thick, 2.87 pounds, not 2.81. We do not need a secondary key layout. So as this is going through some updates here, we'll turn the brightness way down here, but then also kind of, if we can change the brightness. That's just regular F4. All right, so it doesn't want to do anything right now. Perhaps we have to wait until it's actually set up. But so With the Core Ultra 5 series processor with Copilot built in, it has 40 tops, or a 40 tops NPU and 16 gigs DDR5 RAM to use with it. So it's going to be more than fast enough for just kind of quick queries, quick searches, a lot of kind of using it as your AI assistant type environments, allowing you to kind of quickly write things, using it huge for school or as a work computer, just something to be able to go through quick setup. We're going to make this one Mike's Vivobook S14. Use too many characters. So it'll work great as kind of an AI assistant type environment. It's not going to be running any sort of advanced language models, but you will be able to do a lot of processing right on the computer itself with AI. So that's going to be able to keep a lot of that information nice and secure right on the system itself versus having to purely rely on Copilot on the web. So much better if you're going to be using that for, say, sensitive business data, being able to keep it all right on the system itself. Still caution, use your own judgment using AI for any sort of sensitive information. But, if that's something that you decide is what you'd like to do, just know that having that NPU on board allows you to do that processing right here. Also making it quite a bit faster too. Also very large battery, 75 watt hours, so on something this kind of compact and lightweight, that's gonna probably last you a good, we'll see how long it actually does, but probably good 8-10 hours of actual usage, if not maybe more. On my other kind of thinner and lighter laptops, my ProArt 13-inch with an OLED, that one I actually usually get around 8 to 9 hours, and that has actually a discrete GPU in it. So I'd imagine this thing would actually get a little bit more, but we'll see with that. It has a 1080p Windows Hello webcam built in right above the bezel of the monitor, complete with the quick shutter here. Turn these lights back on. And so you can see here, it's got this actual physical cover you slide over it, which is something I really appreciate anytime that, or with any work laptop I've had. That way you actually have something with physical feedback telling you that your webcam is off. No more post-it notes over your webcam. You don't have to worry about being that person. And then also having AI noise canceling that's going to be operating too with that NPU. So you should get a little bit clear video, a little bit clear audio, being able to also clear out a lot of that background noise in an office environment or even a home office environment too. Windows Hello offering you very secure biometric logins using infrared cameras, very similar to Face ID on an iPhone or an Android phone. And then also, this laptop is designed to meet military standard 810H durability. So it's real kind of sturdy chassis. I believe metal. Seems like it's metal. So feels metal. It's kind of cool to touch like metal. Yeah, it's been something that they've been kind of doing for a little bit now, at least with the lids of their laptops, and lately with the whole chassis of them, which also helps with cooling too. So that's nice. Also too, I've been kind of mushing my fingerprints all over it, and it doesn't seem to be picking any up, so that's nice. All right. Otherwise, right now, we're just downloading some updates, so as the screen says, we'll see you in a little bit. I will kind of duck away for a bit here, let this finish out the updates, and then probably test out a little bit too, see how it actually works in kind of real world usage, play around with it. Obviously it's not necessarily meant to be a gaming laptop, definitely is not focused towards being a gaming laptop. I believe Best Buy's website has it listed as a normal MSRP of about $950 US. So it's a little more of a premium, ultralight laptop So you're focusing more on the thin, light, longer battery life, beautiful screen versus big, beefy powerhouse. But also, we'll see how Intel Arc holds up and see what kind of graphics you can use, how you can push it, and how it performs, especially in the real world environment. And maybe it would be a good option for like a family member who's starting a business or a college student, high school student, because that seems what this is more meant for, is especially a student, high school, college level, somebody who's looking for something you can throw into a backpack, kind of beat up a little bit, but still also be able to engage in content, consume content, and also create, either with Copilot AI or on your own. So we'll see how that all works out, and we'll check back in a little bit later in the video. Here we are, so we're back with the ASUS Vivobook S14 here. So I've been able to play around with it for a few days. You can see my finger imprints here on this thing. The sticker that says, please remove this sticker before using the laptop. Jokes on them. I don't know, it works just fine with the sticker, but the sticker shows fingerprints. I'm trying to get a good reflection here. The deck here doesn't show as much, but what we're doing here is we're actually, at the lid you can see some like greasy finger stuff. We're actually, there it is, underneath the bottom. You can tell that, yeah, my fingers are a little greasy. I'm gonna crack this open, just kind of see what's in it. It's got some nice little micro Torx bits in here. Makes for the most excellent of repairabilities. Luckily, I'm prepared with my handy iFixit toolkit, which, obviously comes in handy with electronics, but also a shocking number of times I've actually used this for different parts on my bikes. But yeah, definitely not for anything that needs to be torqued down. It's a kind of weird naming scheme with a Torx bit, which is TORX. I was trying to put the lid of my toolkit down there, versus Torque, TORQUE. Yeah, one is for applying pressure. The other one, I actually don't know the reasoning behind the name, but it's probably the name of whoever created it, or like the brand or something. But yeah, it looks like we've got 4 across here. There's almost definitely one under this little rubber plug thingy here. So 4, 7, 11 screws. It's not too bad. I'm hoping that I'm going to leave these last 2 here for, well, last. I'm hoping that they kind of like work as a hood pop and, well, pop the bottom deck open. But it gives you a nice look at the bottom of this laptop. It's nice, clean, all metal with, still some... All right, battery died. So normally the only things that are going to get through your bottom ventilation are, going to be pet hair, leg hair, maybe, dust that gets sucked in. But it is nice that they do have those vents on there. It gives you, basically, so you can just kind of like quickly sweep dust off of it, because it is an intake. So yeah, that's nice. And it's got this nice, like, kind of beefy foot on the back. Yeah. So you actually have pretty good ventilation coming through there. And with all of your I/O on the side too, you've got pretty solid, looks like pretty solid heat management system out the back. Still not quite the same as like what you would see on a gaming laptop, but again, this is not a gaming laptop. This is almost definitely geared towards like a elder student, somebody in college, high school, something like that. Especially with the 16 by 10 screen, like that's going to be excellent for documents, research, web applications, using Office, Excel, writing up papers in Word or Google Docs, or if you're a small business owner. This particular model does not have a touchscreen, which, like, that's teach their own. I like having a touchscreen, but you can get a model that has touchscreen. It's just more expensive. personally, I'd rather have more RAM and 512 gigs of storage and a sub $1,000 price point. But this is what held up that. Great. Well, I'm just going to leave that right on there because at some point we're going to put it back. Luckily, though, this like anodized coating, you might have been able to hear a couple of times where it like scratched against. Can't even see any scratches. So that's cool. Look at that. And now, look at that. Nice and easy. So, I always remember that little middle one. Little sneaky thing. But yeah, this is like a metal base plate. That's cool. With a plastic kind of reinforcing chassis to it. These are just kind of like little insulating bits, mostly to keep this quite large battery here. 75 watt hour. Get this in the correct orientation. Pretty big 75 watt hour battery for this 14-inch laptop. You can see it's just massively imposing here. Yeah, this seems like it's definitely a 2230 SSD under here. Nice though that it is replaceable. Let's further confirm that by just, you know what? And now that is a standard Phillips head. Oh, well, I mean, this is why you get a toolkit with so many bits in it. Now this is a pretty standard Phillips head screw and bit for these. So let's just kind of pop that out there. And it's off camera, but I do have a anti-static cable attached to me. Oh, 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 whoa. That's a full 2280. What do we got here? Western Digital PC SN 5000S NVMe SSD. Cool. Now, I do like using PC Benchmark as much as it's kind of, I don't know, even on their own website, they're like, oh, people hate us. They don't trust us. The gaming community despises us. And it's like, yeah, but, well, I kind of like because they usually pull up your SSD information right away with some pretty good relevant specs about it. So I like using them because of that. The rest of their benchmarking is all kind of relative to that exact point in time, but oh, it's neat, it's free. That's kind of the biggest thing I like about it. That and like not everything can fire up Cinebench. Specifically this. I'm going to try it again because, I don't know, you'd think it could. But so for kind of an all APU system here with integrated graphics on your Intel chip, I say that kind of cross my fingers here, allegedly integrated with ARC. This is probably your RAM right here, and then this is going to be your APU all in one, but all using a dual heat pipe system, dual fan cooling solution. So even though, you know, it's onboard graphics, it is still a pretty powerful Core 5 Ultra, or Core Ultra 5. If I remember to do it in the editing, I'll try and correct it and put the correct thing like it's the unit itself, but obviously with it being closed here, can't really just look into it. Could always pull up my note system. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, you've got the whole guts of the computer right here. Yeah, it looks like the RAM is actually kind of spaced around the system here, but like around the actual APU. But it is a Core Ultra 5 from Intel. So, I don't know, maybe Cinebench just doesn't support it yet, but either way, I tried to fire up the test, and it failed multiple times. But yeah, I mean, this also, I don't know, we'll see. Cinebench is actually a pretty good check for what this computer system is kind of meant for, being more of like a classroom creation, CPU intensive kind of system. But it is 8 core, 8 threads, so it's going to be more focused towards kind of your general classroom type computing and less towards creating all your own online video content. If you do that, get a creator laptop or a gaming laptop, something with a dedicated GPU that can kind of offload all that. The NPUs, this one does have one with the 40 flops, or 40, this one does have one. It has 40 tops of capability in it to use with Copilot Plus. But obviously with the gorgeous OLED display, heavy air quotes 1080p, being 1920 by 1200, 16 by 10, definitely it's aimed towards media consumption as well as being able to do that productivity focused stuff. Plus, good sized speakers. Speakers sound pretty good. This laptop easily brings all of those tools to your fingertips. And with an excellent battery life, I was able to consistently get around 8.5 hours of moderate usage before hitting the 5% auto shutdown. I had the screen at about 50% brightness, and that was about all I adjusted myself. Everything else was automatically set by the laptop. The Intel Core Ultra CPU, very nice and efficient, 8 cores, 8 threads, good balance for everyday usage. Pretty good, excellent trackpad and keyboard. 16 by 10 aspect ratio screen though, that is a killer for productivity. That's why this thing is a huge recommendation of mine for, if you're going back to school or if you're looking for something as like your business laptop, that's huge. Same with the two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. Those are awesome for expansion, plus the full-size HDMI 2.1, so you can just plug into screens without an adapter. The micro SD card's nice too. Your full-size SD cards, you'll still have to hook up to one of those Thunderbolt ports or one of the USB 3.2 Type A ports, and that gives you a lot of expansion and I/O for such a small laptop. The keyboard too, the full spectrum RGB backlight is unique. You can only set it to one color at a time, but you can choose from all of the full RGB spectrum. Kind of gives it a nice personalization aspect. Not gamery, but if you want a green keyboard, you can have a green keyboard. You want a pink keyboard, you can have a pink keyboard. Whatever suits your creative mood at that moment. The 512 gig NVMe SSD, standard 2280 M.2 slot, fully replaceable, and that's nice. That's why I would absolutely recommend it to someone looking for a lightweight, but still powerful computer you can toss in your backpack, not have to worry about cracking any of the plastic casing, because it is all metal. While also going from meeting to meeting, class to class, wherever your life may take you. Also, it's not going to break your back. This is an excellent machine for creatives, students, and professionals on the go. If you're looking for a sharp-looking machine that can last all day and has Copilot Plus AI to help power you through throughout the day and assist your creative processes. Price is also great compared to its competitors. If you can find it on sale, which it does run on sale from time to time, it is the ultimate choice. But if you do want touchscreen, they do offer it in a touchscreen model for a few hundred more. I'll leave the links down below where available. Thanks for checking out the video. And again, I'm Mike with Accounting for Cycling. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.